What about that experience with DEA that you think maybe suits this position well?
Well, I did start out in local law enforcement, but in DEA, I ran state and local law enforcement, state and local task forces, and I had members of sheriff's offices and police departments in my task force. So throughout my career, I've been involved with state and local law enforcement, even though I was working with the federal government. So I think it has kind of given me a perspective of how cases flow through the criminal justice system, different aspects of budgets and grants, like we use different sorts of grant money to pay for our state and local task forces. So it's given me another perspective besides what I already had working in local law enforcement.
Many of the men and women who serve in law enforcement here are locals. They're from Santa Cruz County.
Yeah.
If you're sheriff, you would be overseeing the commissioned deputies, the correctional staff. How would you go about recruiting and retaining qualified people to serve this region?
That has been somewhat of an issue, especially in the Santa Cruz County Sheriff's Office and the detention center. It is severely understaffed. We only have 1/3 of the staff that we're billeted to have. And a problem we have is that we do get qualified individuals, but they tend to, once they get their training, they want to move on to do a patrol function in another agency and look for other opportunities elsewhere. You know, you can't blame people for that. One idea I have is to maybe recruit from a more mature population, from people in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s to fill those detention officer positions. And then they're more likely to stay there and not immediately want to move on to a patrol function after the county has paid to train them.
After you're sworn in, what would be some of the first things you'd like to do as the next sheriff of Santa Cruz County?
When I'm asked that question, I make sure that I don't say, I'm going to make this change, this change, this change, because frankly, I don't really know all the internal aspects of the department. I want to move slowly and cautiously. I want to spend a 3 to 6 month assessment period working all the shifts, you know, and with all the positions, with the dispatchers, the detention officers, the detectives, the civil division, the school resource officers, and see what's working and what's not working, and not just go in with an assumption that things need to be changed, you know, that everything needs to be changed.
The role of sheriff is political. Where's the balance between managing that political landscape but also honoring public safety?
You know, once again, this is a unique county. Although we're the smallest county in Arizona, we have the highest number of federal officers per capita. So you have to have the ability to do liaison with all the other agencies. But here in Nogales, here in Santa Cruz County, the sheriff doesn't have a different function than they do anywhere else, than they do in New Jersey or Ohio. There's two main priorities: violent crime and property crime. That's the same if you talk to a sheriff in any other part of the country. You have to be aware of the local cultural environment that you work in, but the priorities are the same. You know, violent crime and property crime are the important points.
Okay, Dave Hathaway, candidate for Santa Cruz County Sheriff. Thank you.
Thank you, Lorraine.